This class is presented to you by Dr. Adam Cohen, teacher at the Turiya Ashram in India.
Standing forward bends are most appropriate for those individuals who find it difficult to come into the seated forward bends. They're also much more stimulating than the seated forward bends for the most part, simply because when the body is standing, our mental attitude is geared towards activity, whereas when we're seated or reclining, then we find that the body naturally wants to move towards rest. So let us explore now a few of the standing postures. The first standing forward bend that we'd like to do is the easy one, known as Padahastasana, or Uttanasana as some people like to refer to it. To come into this posture, there's several variations. Let us first explore the easiest variation, and then we'll come into a deeper variation following this. Start with the legs together. The feet are just barely touching, right outside the big toes, with the heels just a little bit separated to keep the alignment of the feet proper. Hands on the top of the thighs. Keep the legs nice and straight, and then as you exhale, begin to slide the hands down the front of the legs. As they make their descent, try to keep the spine straight. This will teach you how to isolate through the legs and work primarily through the hamstrings as opposed to through the spine and the forward bend. This is really good for people who have really tight legs. Once you come down, stay in that forward bend for a little while. Feel the stretch of the hamstrings. Observe what that feels like, and then with the inhalation, begin to lift the upper body back up and slide the hands back up the thighs and come back to the neutral standing position. Now let's go into a little bit more intense variation. Inhale as you reach the arms up towards the sky. With the hands up, keep them separated at about shoulders distance, palms face in towards one another. Now, straight spine, begin to lean forward into the forward bend. Keep the spine straight for as long as possible. Then when you reach the full depth, you can release the hands to the front of the legs. Depending on your flexibility, this might mean the thighs, shins, or ankles, feet, or ground. Then, focus on straight spine. Arms lift. Inhale, come all the way up to standing with the arms all the way up towards the sky. And then release the arms back along the side of the body as you exhale. Let's try one more variation now. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky once again. Palms face in towards one another, hands separated shoulder distance. Exhale, fold forward, straight spine. Once you've come all the way down, place the hands on the front of the legs and you can slide them down, coming as deep into the forward bend as you can without bending the knees or without sacrificing the security of the knee joints. Now, we're going to inhale, come halfway up, which means that you need to place the hands perhaps on the shins or on the thighs so that you form a nice 90-degree angle between the upper body and the lower body. Then exhale, slide the hands back down the front of the legs, going down as deep as you were in that previous posture. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms lifted towards the sky, before exhaling, releasing the arms alongside the body. So that's our introduction to the standing forward bend. Let's try another one. Come to the lengthier mat so that you have good distance to spread your feet wide, about 1 meter apart across your mat. We'll go through this one and a couple of variations as well, to give you a sense of the different options that are available within the forward bend. The feet are going to be facing forward. Again, they're going to be separated about 1 meter apart. Keep the legs nice and straight. Feel good support through the knees. If you need to, you can slightly bend the knees. This is better to have the knees a little bit bent than to put too much strain in the knees, which might injure or damage the knee joint. Bring your hands to the outside of your hips. We need to direct our pelvis through the action of the forward bend. Keep the spine nice and straight. Then as you exhale, begin to direct the pelvis forward as you rotate through the hips, which is going to begin to direct the body into a forward bend. Go as deep as you can without arching through the spine. So keep the spine nice and straight. Guide the hips forward. Feel the stretch and extension of the hamstrings. Then when you inhale, come back up to standing. Okay, next variation. Now that we understand how the pelvis moves, we're going to do the same thing without the support of the hands, and we're actually going to intensify the stretch by reaching the fingers up towards the sky, the fingers and the hands up towards the sky. Straight line now from fingertips to hips. And as you exhale, fold forward. You can come as deep as a 90-degree angle between the upper body and lower body. Once again, feel the extension of the hamstrings now with the contraction of the core to support the length of the upper body. Then with the next inhalation, raise back up to standing, reaching out through the fingertips before exhaling, releasing the arms back alongside the body. Third variation. Same intention, we're going to begin the same way. Reach the hands up towards the sky as you inhale. Exhale, fold forward with the straight spine. But then, once you've come to that point where you can't go any further forward with the pelvis, you can begin to arch through the spine. Place the hands on the ground if you can. If not, then just release the hands to the thighs or the shins. If the hands are on the earth, fingertips are facing forward, and then you're going to walk the hands back and behind the body. So for most of us, it might just mean just below the shoulders on the ground. For some, it might mean in between the feet on the ground. But the palms should be nice and flat on the earth. Now we're going to hold in this forward bend for a little bit and just observe the effects of this stretch, noticing how it differs from the stretch that we did with the legs together. Now we're going to lift back up. So lift your arms first, and then with the arms lifted, let them guide the whole upper body up into standing before releasing the arms down. Now step the feet back together. Alright, we'll try one more standing forward bend now, so that you have 3 different varieties that you can work with. This last one is a great hamstring stretch and is going to give you a deep stretch through the back of your legs. Feet are separated at about hips distance. This is a good distance for this practice. Now, you're going to step your right foot back 2.5 to 3 feet. So about 1 meter if you're of average height, or less if you're a little bit shorter, or more if you're a little bit taller. Now bring your hands to your hips once again. And by the way, the right foot should be turned out from about 45 degrees from the angle that it was just positioned in. So turn the toes out to the right 45 degrees. So the hands are on the hips. The hips need to be facing forward. So if you were to draw a line from the right hand to the wall in front of you and the left hand to the wall in front of you, the length of that line would be exactly the same. So make sure your right hip isn't too far back. Now we're going to do that same directing of the pelvis into the forward bend with the support of the hands. If you find too much tension in the front knee, then just slightly bend it so that you can at least understand how the mechanics of the posture work, and then later you can begin to play with having the knee straight. Exhale as you fold forward, and as you fold forward, direct the movement again through the pelvis. Keep the spine straight in this variation that we're doing here. So lean as far forward as you can while keeping the spine straight. Then, with the inhalation, raise back up to standing. Then step the right foot next to the left. Let's try the left foot now. Step the left foot back 2.5 to 3 feet. Turning the toes out 45 degrees, placing the hands on the hips and making sure that both hips are equal distance from the wall in front of you. Then, again, direct the pelvis forwards into the forward bend as you stretch deeply through the back side of the right leg. Spine straight, don't arch the spine. Then inhale, come back up. Step the left foot next to the right. Now we're going to go into the full variation of this posture, or at least one of the full variations of this posture. Step the right foot back, the same distance as we did before. Turn the toes out 45 degrees, square the hips, but this time we're going to inhale, reach the fingers and hands up towards the sky. Keep the hands separated at shoulder distance, palms facing in towards one another. This might sound familiar, that's good. Exhale as you fold forward towards the left leg. Then, once you've come down with your straight spine, you can begin to arch the spine. Release the hand, both hands, either to the thigh, the shin, foot, or ground, coming fully into the forward bend. Now, close your eyes and observe how this stretch is experienced within your body and your mind. Is it different than the ones that we've done previously? And with the next inhalation, raise back up to standing. Arms lifted up overhead, they're guiding them lift upwards, and then step your right foot next to your left. Left side, step the left foot back, turn the toes out 45 degrees. Square your hips forward, reach the arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, straight spine first, begin to lean forward. Then, when you've reached the full depth of the forward movement of the pelvis, begin to arch the spine. Then release the hands either to the thigh, shin, or ground, being very gentle with the knee. And again, holding into the stretch, observing how this feels in the backside of the right leg. Then inhaling, raising back up to standing, arms guiding them lift upwards, and then step the left foot forward next to the right and relax. From here, you can either continue with another practice, or if you're ready to take rest, come to resting on your back in Shavasana, staying there for several minutes before moving the body once again. Namaste. You can find more free resources on yoga, including videos, audios, and articles on our website, studyofyoga.org. We believe that spiritual knowledge can change the world and bring forth a new path for humanity to become integrally connected to themselves and the world in which they live. Therefore, all materials we provide are available for free. However, if you would like to make a donation to help us expand our collection of resources as well as support our community projects in India, please contact us at info@studyofyoga.org. That's info@studyofyoga.org. Your contributions are nourishment for the lives of others who share a vision for a more peaceful and holistically unified future. Thank you for listening. May you be a light unto the world, so that the glory of truth and wisdom may shine in the hearts of all.